left hand in, your left hand out, your left hand in, and you shake it all about. Shout! Body liberation! Turn yourself around.
It may not look like it, but this is the start of a social revolution.
Welcome to Out Bodies, Out Selves, a coming out party. A coming out party for everybody. Fat or thin, short or tall, do not apologize for your size.
It's a backlash, or as the protesters at this Manhattan park call it, a fatlash.
Come on, let's go superhero.
R for revolution, E for everybody, F.
They're mad as hell and they're not going to diet anymore.
I look a lot like my fat mother who's 80 years old and she mows the lawn, and I think I'm lucky to get this body.
You are sexy and hot.
Curious bystanders watched as scales were cast aside for a new kind of weighing.
I know, come on now.
Okay.
You go, woman.
That's okay.
You're hot.
You're hot.
Well, you know.
For lead activist Marilyn Wan, it's a fight to stop discrimination against those who don't fit the thin American ideal.
So I can show my leg. There you go, honey. You are fantastic and exquisite. Oh, exquisite. I like exquisite.
I would really love it if my government didn't vilify 2/3 of the population needlessly, because they're not doing my health or anybody's health any favors by pointing a finger at me and saying, you're bad, you're wrong, you're sick, you're going to die.
Exhale, release. We're going to do this one more time. Inhale, come up. We're going to interlace the hands, fingers, palms facing up. Right here, keep the arms up. Just bring the shoulders down.
Nashville, Tennessee, home to sweet corn, grits and southern fried chicken.
Get set. Go! And they're off and running, coming out of there. It's number 4.
It's the Tennessee State Fair, and top billing is the Crystal Hamburger Eating Contest.
Same rules. We will count whatever is in your mouth when the clock hits 0, but we're not going to count it until you've completely chewed it and swallowed it.
2, 1,
It's a snapshot of why Americans are getting bigger. They're surrounded by excess food, eating more than they need and moving less. In the midst of an avalanche of obesity warnings, this is tantamount to a rebellion. True to form, New York heavyweight Ed Cookie Jar Jarvis emerges the winner, gorging on 33 hamburgers in 8 minutes.
Honored to have you here and happy to present to you the trophy for the Nashville, Tennessee State Fair 33 Crystals Cookie Journeyman!
To him, the health critics take food far too seriously. What do you say to those folks who say, as a role model, this isn't a good one. We're trying to get Americans to eat less, not more.
It's only one day, you know. Everybody goes to the buffet. They look like a professional eater. Don't take that plate. Wait, no. Oh. And the bottom line is it's not about gluttony or any of that. It's about this is a competition like any other sport. If you go to watch guys throw the football around, it's the same thing. We're just throwing food.
Leading the charge, U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services Tommy Thompson, who's jumped on the diet bandwagon.
I'm exercising and I'm also watching my diet, and I've lost 15 pounds. I can't ask America to lose weight unless I'm willing to do so myself. I've got the whole Department of Health and Human Services on a diet, Darren.
What do you got, little fella? Drop it. Looks like someone's butt. Man, they probably lost it playing with their kids. Hey, leave it.
But the targets of that very campaign say the effect has been to ramp up discrimination against the obese.
I think the only thing that's achieved by shaming people into weight loss is weight gain.
2, 3,
Listen, sisters, you should wear a smile.
At home in Nashville, rehearsing with her musician husband Roy, Christy Agee says the anti-fat crusade has gone too far.
'Cause the big fat mamas and the little fat mamas are back in style again. There are people out there who think that fat people just are lazy and that they don't move and they just eat all the time.
What's the reality?
But the reality is that many of us started dieting at a young age, and that dieting caused us to become emotional eaters, and that is really what the problem is. I was already in kindergarten. I was already bigger than the other kids. Mm-hmm. And I just developed quicker. I mean, I look at it, I'm like, man, that doesn't look like a fourth grader. I look older than the fourth grade.
And why is fourth grade so significant to you?
Because that's the year that I started my first diet. Probably 9.
What followed was years of dieting successes and failures, a physical and emotional roller coaster. Each time she lost weight, she'd regain it, plus some.
Oh God. That is after I had lost 120 pounds at Weight Watchers.
Right.
And they had a party for me, and those are the pants that I used to wear. And
right.
And those are the pants that I wear now. I mean, that's the same size I wear now, but they gave me a party.
What do you think about that when you look at that photo now?
It's hard. You know, yesterday, I got these in the mail yesterday from my mom, and I cried. Because, I mean, it was more comfortable and it was easier to live at that size.
Now weighing 158 kilos, neither Christy nor her husband can get health insurance. What are your other health indicators like?
They're great. My cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, all of that has always been normal. I don't smoke. I don't even drink. Yet none of that seems to matter.
So your weight is the only reason why you're disqualified from getting health insurance?
Yeah.
But you gotta make your own kind of music.
It's what brought Christy here to Newark, New Jersey, and this convention run by NAAFA, the National Association to Advance Fat Acceptance.
Nobody else sings along.
I found a flyer about NAAFA and the convention, and so I signed up to come, and all of a sudden, when I came for the first time in my life, I didn't feel like I was so different. I fit in.
I see beauty in you, carry in you, vitality and joy.
One of the fat freedom singers, Christy no longer balks at being called fat.
We are strong, we are brave and free.
We at NAAFA have taken the word back and aren't afraid to say that we're fat at all. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with being fat.
People came from around the country, united in defiance.
When you take a look at me and only see my height and weight and girth, you are not seeing the whole of me. You are not seeing my worth. You don't see my personality, my warmth, or my charms, only my belly, my thighs, my butt, my arms. You don't see the beauty of the human inside. You only see the fat, 54 inches wide.
Enough with the diet talk already.
Welcomed as a hero in Newark, lawyer and author Professor Paul Campos, whose controversial book, The Obesity Myth, has just hit the shelves.
And that it doesn't make any sense to focus on our weight, and it especially doesn't make any sense to focus on making fat people thin, which is an absolutely crazy kind of public health policy.
He claims the obsession with weight is more about idolizing thinness than health.
All of the hysteria that we're hearing right now about how we're undergoing some huge public health crisis because of increasing weight is just that. It's hysteria, it's moral panic, it's not based on some sort of legitimate health crisis, of which there is none in the United States.
Right arm, here we go. Right arm up and down.
His book assails doctors, pharmaceutical companies, medical researchers, and anyone else pushing the view the overweight need to shed kilos.
But those are standing.
He claims that message is driven and paid for by a weight loss industry wanting to keep people addicted to diets and diet pills.
What happens when you tell people to lose weight is, if they pay attention to you, is they get on this weight cycling diet hamster wheel that they're running around on, and the long-term effects of that are clearly bad. They're bad physiologically, and they're especially bad psychologically.
Exhale, we're going to dive forward. Wherever you reach.
He says research supports the view you can be overweight, even obese, and still be healthy.
Reach like a tree. Reach.
Do you think doctors are wrong when they say to patients you should lose weight?
Oh, absolutely. I think that doctors, on the whole, should be considered guilty of malpractice when they tell people that they ought to lose weight for the sake of improving their health.
You're a professor of law. You're not a doctor. What right do you have to question medical advice?
Well, it's a good question, and you're quite right. I've heard that question asked of me, and I would say a couple of things in reaction to it. One is there are, in fact, quite a few doctors, and more all the time, who agree with everything that I'm laying forward in this book.
But many do not, and his malpractice quip had this doctor seeing red.
To say something like that is a brazen kind of misleading statement, which serves no social benefit, which serves no health benefit, and which is just for the purposes of being inflammatory. It's a dangerous thing to say. I think that he's wrong.
Dr. Arthur Frank has been treating obese patients for 27 years. He agrees discrimination against the obese is a very real problem in the US, but says it's irresponsible to say it's healthy to be fat.
Oh, it's very serious. I don't think this is hysterical at all. The adverse effects of being overweight and obese are devastating. They have a shattering effect upon the lives of people who are afflicted. The complications of obesity are killer complications. People die of diabetes. They die of hypertension. They die of coronary artery disease. And all of these diseases are made worse by being overweight or obese.
Professor Campos disputes the numbers, but health authorities say there'll be 400,000 deaths from obesity-related diseases in the US this year. Figures show 2/3 of Americans are overweight, 1/3 of them obese. Most worrying is the claim of a dramatic increase in childhood obesity. 15% of American kids are obese, and like Christy, many will end up on the diet roundabout.
It taught me to hate my body, literally, to really hate who I was physically.
Obesity is a disease in which the way the body, the brain, the regulating systems control your eating is dysfunctional. Something is wrong with the system. It's not because you've done something wrong. It's not because you've brought it upon yourself. It's not because you've eaten too much. In fact, you can reasonably make the argument that you eat too much because you have the disease, not that you have the disease because you eat too much.
Eat less is the solution, but that's a lot harder than it sounds. Americans are bombarded with food messages, and the portions are huge.
We live in a world of enormous overabundance of food in which it is very easy for people with marginal problems of eating to take advantage of all the excess food.
Can you be fat, overweight, and fit?
Yes, you can be fat and you can be fit, but it's better to be not fat and fit.
Therein lies the trend for American women who've decided they're never going to be the size of a svelte Hollywood actress. Thousands are shunning mainstream gyms to attend fitness centres like Curbs, where the emphasis is on health, not size.
I feel that it's definitely moving in the right direction.
So it's the beginning of a revolution.
Yes, definitely.
America is clearly not winning the war on fat.
Every woman deserves to look and feel her best. The spiral skirt comes from...
Simple messages alone, like eat less and exercise more, are not enough for a complex problem. Neither has humiliation or shame worked.
These delightful designs focus on size acceptance and the experience of living life God in a thin-obsessed world.
These men and women say they've tried changing and argue it's time for the country to change its attitude towards them. America, they say, is supersizing. Get used to it.
Basically, I'm giving up the fight. I'm just going to be okay with myself the way I am and live a happy life the way I am, and I'm not going to go on any more diets.